Afternoon, traders. What a day it's been on the S&P and on the NASDAQ. For now on, I decided to change things up a little bit. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be covering the QQQ, SPY, SPX, the main NASDAQ, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon. So the main holders of the S&P and also QQQ. I'm going to just focus all my time and energy into that for you guys. Please leave a like if you guys appreciate that. If you would like to see more content like this, but without further ado, let's get into it. So, on the NASDAQ, the big levels I'm going to be watching for tomorrow is going to be the 14,200 level. If we can get a push above there, then I could support more upside on the NASDAQ, and then obviously more upside on QQQ. And then, so the big thing to see is if we end up opening to the upside tomorrow or the downside, I would like to see a gap fill trade, kind of like what we got today on SPX. Was more of a better example, and I'll show you guys in just a second. But as you can see here, if we flip over to the 1 hour, this 14,109.26 was the close of today. So I would watch for a gap fill trade on that front on QQQ. And then, as you can see over on SPX, let me just pull that up. So if I go over to SPX, as you can see, if we took yesterday's close right here, and you can see right here, the market, let's flip it down to a 15-minute. So right where this yellow line is, if we marked out yesterday's close on SPX, the market came right back down to there. Then on the 15-minute, you can see we came right down, touched it, and rallied up higher. If we flip down to the 5-minute, we made a nice touch, could have entered here. Those calls would have made you I would assume it would have been somewhere probably in the 70-80% range. So it would have been an excellent play in terms of risk to reward. Volume made the trade nice and easy too. But as you can see, if we flip over to SPY, same time frame and same level. If we took yesterday's close, which was, let's see, what was yesterday's close? I believe it was this candle. So the close was 440. No, it was this one. Yeah, so it's 448.71. If we go over here, we end up coming down. So that would bring us to here. So the trade confirmed on SPX, but did not confirm on SPY. But because the trade confirmed on SPX, you could have easily taken that trade. It would have been beautiful. I wish I saw it sooner. I didn't realize it until after the fact. But just another lesson in the book. But so the big thing to watch on SPX, the S&P 500, is going to be this resistance level up here. Let me flip back to the daily. So what I would watch is I'd watch this 4,500 level. A lot of confluence at that level right now. And then what I would also watch for is the gap fill trade at 45.03. And then if we start getting some more upside and we bounce off of 4,500, I would watch 45.20. Now if we get some more downside, I'm a little hesitant to mark out levels, but if we were going to get some more downside, the big level I'm going to be watching is going to be the 44.80 level. I'll just mark that out for you guys so you can watch it. So mark at 44.80. So it's going to be what I'm going to be watching on the S&P. And then on SPY. So the big thing to watch on SPY for trades is, as I was just mentioning on the gap fill trade, we'll flip back down to the 15-minute to make it a little easier. So I'm going to be watching this demand zone tomorrow. I'm going to be watching for a gap fill at 449.63, either to the upside or downside, whichever one price action supports, and whatever after hours ends up doing. If we break down this demand zone, I'm going to let price action dictate what to do. If we break it down during after hours and then pre-market, what I'm going to look for is a retest of the zone and then a push down and I'll enter some puts. If we push on the upside of this, I'm going to be looking for a gap fill, and if that fails, I'll be watching the supply zone at 451. As you see here, it was heavily tested today. It broke down, retest, went down further. Excellent risk to reward. Unfortunately, I was not involved in the market then, but I'm still in the learning process of all this stuff. But let's see what we're getting on QQQ. So the big thing I'm watching on QQQ is going to be the gap fill trade at 385.61. I'm going to be watching this demand zone down here. If we end up breaking that down, I was hesitant about drawing this area. I mean, it is demand right here, but it's also on the 15-minute, but doesn't confirm it on the 1 hour, I don't believe. Yeah, so it doesn't confirm on the 1 hour. So my plan kind of is, if it breaks down this demand zone, I'm going to be watching for a push down further, maybe a retest before a push back down to 382 and maybe lower. If we end up bouncing off of this demand zone, watch the gap fill for a downside move, and if that fails, I would watch an upside of 387 on QQQ. And then over to Amazon. So Amazon will flip back to the daily. The big levels to watch on Amazon is going to be the 147 level, rejected off it today, making a push downwards. Now the big levels to watch right now are going to be, see if we can get a move back down to 140. If this downside continues to 140, then I'm expecting a lot of support there. NVIDIA, absolutely killing it today. We did open up higher and close a little bit lower on the downside. Bears had more control today, but on the bright side, you're able to hold 485. And as I said in this morning's video, and also I said in yesterday's video as well, 485 would be a major support. This is still very bullish, short-term pullback. Now, if we break down 485 and close below 485, then the Bears might have some control back. But as far as I see it, I think 502.66 to all-time highs is going to come pretty soon for NVIDIA. Microsoft, the big thing to watch on Microsoft is going to be that 373 resistance level. I would watch for a push up to there. If we can end up breaking 373.13 and get a close above that level, we can get 375, 380. And then if we end up rejecting off 373, I'd watch for a move back down to 366.78 to retest the old highs. That seems to be what the market's really trying to do right now. And then on Apple, the big thing to watch on Apple is going to be that 190 resistance level. As you can see today, we kind of made a push towards it. I ended up selling off all my shares of Apple at the market open. So I made out pretty decently. I got it like in the middle. Right now, I'm not really bullish or bearish. I'm just trying to manage my risk at this point. But that's what I'm watching for.